there and use them on the ship. Okay, quickly, we're going to give you a sneak peek of Disney's Fantasy. Bob and I were just down the shipyard just a couple weeks ago. See how much nicer it is to be inside that building? But the Fantasy is, in many ways, the same basic design as the Dream. I say basic design. Upper decks are going to have some new features, some of which we can't talk about today, so you just have to wait to hear about them. We're doing a few surprises on the upper decks. The elegant dining room will be different, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. One of the big differences in animation, the Animator's Palette, is the new show, which Bob will talk to you about in a moment. There's Bob and I enjoying playing with steel.
With short sleeve shirts on too.
Short sleeve shirts, yeah, that's right. I thought there was something wrong about putting a dumpster inside Mickey's head. It's too long. But that will be the Mickey pool when it's done, and it won't have a dumpster in it. That's the shot of the adult pool under construction. This is the bow of the ship, and you can see the stern, and you can see where the new character is going to go that I'm not allowed to talk about today. Sorry. So as I mentioned to you earlier, the ship is built, the superstructure of the ship is built, and then we do a whole series of mock-ups. We have this giant warehouse in Papenburg, and so I'm going to show you here quickly is a whole series of these mock-ups for the different spaces. Believe it or not, this is going to be for the restrooms in the adult area. This is a column in the elegant restaurant. Just to understand the lengths that we go through, I mean, we need to understand both mechanically how it's all going to fit together. We do these full-size mock-ups to look at the material choices. We decided, like, after looking at this, we want to use marble on the base versus the FRP that we were using here. We came up with some changes for the way the lighting is going to work with the upper part of the column. Things like just understanding the height of a railing on a bar. This is going to be in O'Gill's, which is one of the new adult bars. This is just a shot of the whole, this warehouse that has all the various materials in there. For the new elegant restaurant, this is a nicely featured, beautiful pumpkin coach light fixture. That will be one of the features in there. And then here, I think this picture starts telling the story a little more. Earlier, Bob showed you those material boards that we do. Then we take, in this mock-up space, we take all those same materials and we lay them all out. But now we've got the full-size reality, the real thing is all there. So we can see how the curtain is going to play with the carpet, how the carpet and the curtain are going to look against the wood color of the wall. Here we decided to actually change the color a little bit on the portal, because the gold was, we were going to use the original gold from the Dream. We just wanted to adjust this slightly. But so I put this here just so you can understand the depth of thinking and how much goes into understanding how all the elements are going to play together to create that final look for the guests to enjoy.
Okay, we'll quickly go through. We have a new show for Animator's Palette that's going to premiere on the Disney Fantasy. We're going to show you a little sneak preview here. Again, Animator's Palette has a tradition now with Disney Magic, Disney Wonder, Disney Dream. So again, playing off the celebration of animation. And as I mentioned before, we have Crush come and visit you. I told you a little bit about the challenge for choreographing a show like an interactive show in a restaurant. But what we're going to premiere on the Disney Fantasy, work my way through this because I forget how we had this adjusted. We have a show called Animation Magic. And what this show is when you walk in and you have to sit down at your table, we're going to ask you to draw a character, your own. You can do a Disney character, you can do your own character, and then we're going to pick that placemat before you place your dinner order, and we're going to go out and do a little Disney magic. And I think that, as you know, what Joe has mentioned before in previous presentations is how cool is it to be able to draw something and see it come to life, and that's Joe's background in animation. He has the ability to do that. Most of us, for me, I draw a stick figure, and I just hope it looks semi-okay. But this is a chance for your characters to actually come to life. And so we're going to show you a little clip here at the beginning of the show. See how this works here. There we go. So the room is going to transform, and then Mickey's going to come out and open the show. This is right after you turn your placement.
Around your neck, Sherry, and we provide the rest.
So then you have your dinner, and while you're
oh wait, it gets better.
It gets a lot better.
Hold your applause.
So while you eat, we entertain you on the screens with food-themed sequences, animation sequences, and so you'll see concept art. You'll see original renderings, you'll see thumbnails, you see animation sequences. So we celebrate the different stages of food where you pick food, there's food preparation, there's dinner, there's celebration, and then at the end, for your dessert, suddenly we're going to see your animations come to your drawings come to life.
Has 9 zones in it. So the people from any one of those zones, their drawings will be sure to be seen in that specific zone.
Which took a lot of software work.
See y'all real soon.
So at the end, we do a credit crawl, and so we're able to extract your name out of the placemat and put it in the crawl here. And so you can see it, and as Joe alluded to before, the challenge that we had to be able to know where you're sitting in the restaurant, because again, this is a 700-seat restaurant, so if you draw your character, we want that character to show up on a monitor near your table. And so to be able to work that into the design and placement of the software was a challenge. I know we're running a little long here, Joe, so I think maybe we can think we have...
So how cool is that to see your drawing come out? And see the little puppies as they run out? We have on the floor in the restaurant, there's trowels on top, but there's fiber optic puppies that light up, and then they kind of lead you up. Okay, I'm going to, and what's also great, at the end, you will get your placemat back. Whoop, with a little stamp saying you're an official Disney animator. Wow. Is that? Okay. Okay, for those of you that really believe for the Marvel show, we won't be offended, but we have just a couple more things here to do. I'm going to quickly take you through the adult district, very quickly. The big idea here was a night out in Europe. So if you're an adult, you're with your kids are off in the play area. What do you get to do? You get to go clubbing in Europe. How fun is that going to be? And we're calling the area appropriately Europa. The main club is called The Tube, and basically it's a take on the English subway. This is the Skyline Bar, which is one of the most popular venues on the Dream, and it's so popular that they asked us to repeat it on the Fantasy now. And as you can see those windows out to the world, you can look out over various cities. How many different cities, Bob?
We have 7 in the Fantasy.
Yeah, and we actually have sent photographers out to these cities to take photos of the cities. And then we use some CGI to create like little subtle things like the cars on the street, airplanes flying by. So again, any other company would have just put pictures on the wall. We had to bring them to life. Ooh, one of my favorites. This is going to be the champagne bar called Ooh La La. It fits its name, doesn't it? It's a very sexy space, very adult. And then this is kind of a fresh take on an Irish pub. This is called O'Gill's. And finally, I think this is the Italian piazza, La Piazza, where you can get a drink underneath this Venetian carousel. And that too has a beautiful day-night look, like I showed you. So, that kind of finishes us up for today. I wanted to finish off by showing you just what you saw was just a sampling of what the Imagineers and our outside designers had to do to make this ship. Every little detail was considered, from the color of the carpet to the way lighting works on the ceiling, the way the seating has to work in the theaters, to the kinds of chairs that we buy. It's really a testament to dozens and dozens and dozens of artists and designers, both at Imagineering, our team down in Florida, our teams in Papenburg. And that for me is one of the most exciting things about being an Imagineer. So you bring all that talent together, but in the end it creates a seamless experience for our guests like these magnificent cruise ships.
Thank you.